Hello and welcome back to a new video. Today we're gonna last minute plan on a year, and if you click down in the video description there's a link to my link tree, and if you go to my link tree then the first link that should pop up is a Notion template which I make for you so that you can either after watching this video or while watching this video plan your year with me. So yeah, without further ado, have fun watching and let's plan 2023 together. The first thing that I like to do when starting a new year or even a new month is creating a vision board. Now, vision boards are a great way of visualizing what you want to achieve the next month or next year, and I usually mix in a few things that I do actually want to do, so kind of a mix between a vision board and a bucket list. For example, for last year's vision board there were a lot of working out, eating healthier, but also baking. Especially in the colder months, I've added a lot of pins of cinnamon rolls, which means that hey, in October I wanted to make cinnamon rolls. And yeah, if you need some inspiration on that, I do have a link of all of my vision boards from the past year and of every single month linked right here. As you can see, that down here is my vision board for the next year. So you have a lot of things like some creative hobbies, reading, also educating myself, and also with the Hagelslag, I think it's pronounced. It's kind of a metaphor for speaking Dutch more fluently, but we'll get to specific goals later on. So as you can see, I didn't really put any specific order into it. You could section it off into personal, work related, and maybe also academic stuff, but I just put everything randomly there. From experience, most of the things that I put on my vision board or my vision boards do actually come true. I did actually make a vision board for the last year, and you can find it on Pinterest, but I've also put it into this little journal which I am gonna continue this year. And I will also print out the photos of my 2023 vision board onto this little book. If I'm honest, I've looked back on this vision board a few weeks ago, and most of this stuff did actually come true. Back to our little Notion template. We are done with the vision board. You can now create your own. Now the next thing that I put on my Notion template will be the goals I have for this year. Now you on your template will have just 10 blank pages. So this is your sign to kind of write down your 10 goals that you have. And mine, for example, are reading a lot more, educating myself way more, not only learning Dutch, but also practicing chemistry and maths a lot more, and keeping my space clean. And the reason I made this as a separate page for each individual goal is so that you can write down answers to questions like, why do I want to achieve this goal? How do I think this goal will make me feel when I've achieved it? How do I picture myself achieving it? And if you don't really know what to write about, then I do have a video linked in the bonus materials, which are just a few helpers for you to get started or even add on to my Notion template. And it's this one right here, How to Set Goals by Brian Tracy. And he basically talks about how you write down 10 goals that you want to achieve in the next 12 months. I wrote down all of my 10 goals, and I honestly haven't journaled about them, so I will probably only journal about 2 or 3, maybe reaching fluency. Why do I want to become fluent in my 4th language? Because I technically can speak 4 languages, but I'm only very fluent in 2 of them. So one of my goals is to be able to hold conversations and to get around with a 3rd language, or a 4th technically, because I've learned Russian before Dutch, so it's kind of my 4th language, but I think you get the point. It probably helps to journal down and write down, why do I want to achieve it? Why this, why that, and why not that? And this is a way of making yourself be more aware of why do you actually want to achieve this goal, and maybe also to figure out why that isn't such a great goal to achieve. Like, I could set a goal of like, I work out every day and I do this and that, but I know that I won't have fun working out every day. So my goal is just to be a bit more physically active, for like doing yoga once a week, because I know that's a goal that is realistic and that also is good for me. If you wanna go deeper on this topic on like how to actually achieve your goals, then I would really recommend to use like watching this video of the guy talking about how do you achieve those goals, because he also has really good advice. I do want to stay on the like planning the next year side, so I'm gonna continue down here with the bucket list. I think pretty much everyone knows what a bucket list is, but it's basically just where you write down things that you want to do next year. Whether or not you've already planned those things, it's just a way of like incorporating more things to have more fun in the next year, because I myself know that especially in school it's very hard for me to find time to actually do fun things. I will spend 4 weeks just studying without meeting anyone, without hanging out with friends, without even like going to a cafe and just having a nice coffee. So in the next year I'm really trying to change that, and that's why I created my bucket list. Now coming to things that you don't want to take to the new year with you, and I've titled that like leave behind with little leaves on the side. And yes, I thought that was funny. But anyways, I wrote down also 10 things that I don't want to keep doing in the next year. I think here it is really important that you journal about every single one, about how you want to stop doing those things or why you want to stop doing those things. So I do already have 10 things on my list. I don't think it necessarily needs to be 10 things. You could also do like 5, but you could also do 20. It's up to you. But I think the more things you write down, the more like you're setting yourself up to fail, because if you have like 100 things that you want to get rid of, and some of them are probably gonna be really hard to get rid of, then it's not very likely that you will achieve all of them in the next year. That's just unrealistic. And some of those things on my list, like seeing reading as a task, is mainly about your mindset. And I think it's really important that you kind of learn about different mindsets and how your mindset actually can affect you. So the last thing on my list is the journal, and that's actually something that you can't really do before the year starts. It's meant to be done over the year, and I've actually did journal every day for like 5 months or so, and it was pretty good. But for me personally, I prefer just journaling when I have certain feelings or emotions or events that really bother me. Sometimes I do feel really anxious, or sometimes I feel upset and I don't really know why. So then I usually just journal about it, because writing down your thoughts helps your brain a lot. So whether or not you want to do it daily, Notion actually provides a template, and I've just used that template. So you have to select new entry, and then you can type a name. For example, maybe it is, well, January 1st was already, so would make sense to call it January 2nd. And if you click on that, then you have a new entry, and then if you select daily entry, then it will turn itself into one of those other 2 that I have already made. And this thing is everything that Notion provides. I didn't do any of that, but I still wanted to include it because journaling is a great way to deal with problems, feelings, and people. So yeah, as you can see, you can write down intentions, happenings, everything, but you can also just like write about certain events. So that's gonna be it for like my Notion template. I did also provide you with some bonus material if you want to go deeper into how to use Notion even more. For example, I found this video very helpful, or even this if you want to plan your whole year or like every month more specifically. Okay, so that's gonna be it for today's video. I really hope you had fun watching, and maybe you now feel inspired to plan your year, or maybe you planned your year while watching this video. If you have any like improvement ideas, whatever, or if you want to share your goals for your next year, then you can drop them down below in the comments. I have the Notion template as well as my other socials linked down in the video description. And yeah, I hope you had a great year, and yeah, we'll see each other next year, which sounds so crazy to say, but yeah, until next year.